To your level.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker, kia ora tātou katoa homa i roti te whare tēnei pō. Mr. Speaker, our co-leader has already advised the Parliament that we will support this bill as it gives those who are involved in the rebuilding effort another tool to aid the recovery in Christchurch. I don't think there's too many people at all in the whole of Aotearoa who would stand in the way of Parliament seeking to develop an effective response to the Canterbury earthquake. Such is the nature of our nation, Mr. Speaker, that there are many links to Waipounamu throughout our party, throughout our electorates indeed, that have been important during their time of need. My own brother, I've been in touch with him a couple of times now just to see how they're going, and fortunately he hasn't been in the zone, but certainly the whole fact that, despite the fact that he isn't in the zone, but certainly in Christchurch City, those after tremors have certainly kept them on their toes, and as other members over the last week or so, we feel very much for them. For our party, our local MP, Rahui Kātene, has been our eyes and our ears, and she's kept us pretty much fully appraised of the situation, checking with our people, checking on marae, seeing where the needs are, listening to the stories, and seeing the destroyed homes, the roads, the whole streets of houses, tracing a fault through collapsed roofs and walls through the new divisions as well. But while she shared some of the sadness and the grim reality of the hardship for whānau in Kaiapoi, in Bexley, St Albans and New Brighton, she's also had plenty of stories of hope, sir. So many people opening up their homes to complete strangers, emptying their freezers and cupboards to feed their neighbours, checking on their whānau and neighbours, helping to pick up or move furniture, dig out the sand, which is everywhere, and listening to other people's stories. So, again, it's reiterating many of the discussion points that other members have said tonight. And I wanted to pick up on the comment made by the co-leader, Tariana Turi, on this legislation that, actually when she said that we should not minimise the damage caused by the earthquake to the social and human infrastructure. This bill sets in place the appropriate statutory powers to assist in the response to the Canterbury earthquake, and it does what is required to enable the relaxation or suspension of provisions and enactments. But importantly, Mr. Speaker, the order of council mechanisms give priority to the facilitation of information. And I want to come to this in terms, I suppose, from a Treaty of Waitangi perspective. Our policy manifesto, and I quote, requires robust and accountable work practices by local government and regional authorities when working with mana whenua. It also stipulates, as provided in the treaty, tangata whenua should have equal say in the decisions which affect them. And so we make it known that Māori, specifically Ngāi Tahu as mana whenua, should have representation on the commission that is being discussed, since there are 30,500 Māori who live in the wider Canterbury area. So there's a wealth of information that has come in, whether it be from Te Runanga o Ngāi Tahu, from Te Puni Kōkiri, or from our own Rahui Kātene. And I know from the Minister of Māori Affairs that TPK staff, Te Puni Kōkiri staff, had visited whānau as homes are reported damaged and assisting them to locate. They've monitored the operations of the welfare centre. They did daily visits to the Christchurch City Emergency Welfare Centres. They visited the Selwyn District Emergency Command Centre and the District Welfare Manager. They also spent time with residents in Darfield, close to the epicentre of the earthquake, who were exhibiting much greater stress and distress levels than elsewhere in the district. The same was true, sir, for Taitapu. Mr. Speaker, I share some of this information because it's vital that the Recovery Commission incorporate the experience of tangata whenua, and we recommend that the mana whenua be represented amongst the 4 of the commissioners to be appointed by the Minister. So one of the things that is really hard to hear about from Rahui was visiting whānau who were too afraid to leave their homes, despite the fact that their homes would be distinctly threatened if they stayed in those particular homes. In fact, their whole whānau would be, I suppose, threatened by that. We need to know why they didn't feel that the welfare centres catered for their needs, or how they can best be supported in the next few months as they try to return to some sort of form of normality. Some of the people she talked to didn't realise the welfare centre was for the public, but thought that it was for the emergency staff only. and clearly an example of the communication aspects that need to be tidied up a little bit. So I share these things because it's important to have the full range of information available in preparing for full recovery. In closing, Mr. Speaker, we believe that this bill will aid the recovery and rebuilding of Christchurch, which will boost the collective wairu of the people who have been affected by the quake. We will be advocating to ensure that Māori have a guaranteed voice on the Commission, and we continue to promote the importance of engaging with mana whenua to ensure that the pathway ahead is one that meets the needs of all of the people in Christchurch and the general Canterbury area. Tēnā koe.